Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. So, I'm down to the nitty-gritty on the 2002 Honda CRV, putting it all back together. The only casualty I had in disassembling it was with the alternator. I'm assuming this is the original one. It has the ID number on the bottom. The deal was I couldn't get the power lead off right here, 10 millimeter nut, and I ended up breaking the stud off in the housing here, so this thing is shot. So I went around to some pick and pull junkyards today, and one junkyard I had looked up said they had 3 on the shelf. I went there, they said they had none, so that was a pain in my bottom. Went to a couple of other pick and pulls. One said they had no Hondas in stock. The last one said they had a 2002 Acura RSX, which I'm assuming has the same 2.4 liter as the Honda CRV. So it was the only vehicle in the lot, they said, that was comparable. So I went out there, crossing my fingers that I could get the alternator off of it. And luckily, the car was pretty intact, not too much missing on the engine. It had a new power steering pump, and then I snatched the alternator is what I was looking for. So this is what I had broken off on my original alternator right here. Your hot lead right here, I snapped this whole stud off. So this was $30. I gave him an old Camry core that I had, and you could pay $10 for a 90-day warranty. A 30-day warranty is included in the price. So for $30, I got a used alternator. So this thing is pretty grungy and nasty. What I'm going to do is degrease it. You can see all the sludge and grease build up here. The engine's nice and clean now. I had power wash the engine compartment and quickly degrease the junkyard engine that I installed. So everything is nice and clean. I'm not going to throw in a grungy alternator. I'm going to degrease this, let it drip dry overnight, get this thing all nice and clean. And it looks like the Acura had front end damage, so that's what you want to look for when you're going and picking out parts, especially an engine. You never take an engine out of a vehicle that looks perfect. You want to see major structural collision, either the front or the back, then you know at least it was running. So these junkyards will sell you the engine. You'd have to put it in and figure out if it was any good or not. But pretty much if you see any major structural damage to the vehicle, it was in an accident and totaled, and the engine is still good. Which was the case when I bought the engine for the CRV. The right front of the CRV was in a collision. It was all caved in. They were able to salvage the engine out of it. So I'm not worried about that. It's when you go to these pick and pulls and get them on your own, go out there with their hoist and yank an engine out. You never want to yank an engine out of a good looking vehicle with no damage, because that's probably why it's in there, is the engine's toast. Just some tips for you guys that want to do your own pulling. So I'm going to get busy clean this thing up. I'm sure it's a good alternator. Spinning the pulley, there's no grinding. Pulling the pulley back and forth, there's no play in the shaft. So I think we got a good one here. They're probably 150 new, 130, something like that. I didn't price a new one. I try to get used whenever I can. Luckily, this one was sitting there ready to be pulled. So I'll save the old one for another core. If I need another alternator for any other vehicle, I'll put this one in my core pile and trade this one in, so I don't have to pay the $10 core charge. So there you go, kids. That's it in a nutshell. Continue to have a nice day. Thanks for coming out.